The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL after a week of use now, so let's sit down and talk about it for a little bit. You've heard a lot of hype about this phone, a lot of it deserved. Google's done an excellent job with this device, which we'll talk about. Is it the best Pixel ever? Yeah. I don't think so. To me, that's always going to be the Pixel 2 XL. I haven't changed the way I've thought about smartphones with the Pixel 9 Pro XL the way I did with the Pixel 2 XL. That really just, I reconsidered how I used my smartphone with the camera. That none of that here. Is it the best phone you could currently buy in the U.S.? Well, that's going to be its own discussion for next week as well. Both those devices with the S24 Ultra have their pros and cons, as you would expect. However, with all that said, it is a wonderful inflection point for Google itself. It really has turned the corner and made it so these devices, we've had two successive really good releases. It's made it so we have confidence in Google now again on the hardware side and the software side. With the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 9 Pro XL, it feels as a consumer that Google listened to us. They went bit by bit. What are the problems that people have with our devices? And they've gone bit by bit and corrected them, which is nice because it felt like for years that Google was tone deaf and they say, you know what, we're just going to do whatever we want to do and you either buy it or you don't. It seems like they've made a conscious effort to fix the issues that we actually had. So let's talk about it. Number one, you're going to notice when you open up the phone, fingerprint sensor. It is beautiful on the Pixel 9 Pro XL, flawless. I have had no issues. That has been a major headache, not so much last year, but in the past, the Pixel 6, starting with the Pixel 6, fingerprint sensors, ever since they went under display, fingerprint sensors have been an issue for Google. That seems to be resolved. The other one, right in your face all the time. Beautiful Super Actual display, even better this year. It was excellent last year. It's even better this year. A little bit more max brightness. You're really not going to notice that unless you're on the surface of the sun and you got auto brightness on. But it is a bright, vibrant display. Not as vibrant as last year's, but that's just kind of the natural tone. That's not anything to not a knock against the screen. That's just the way the world is going with these natural devices. But it is a gorgeous panel. It's a sharp panel. It's a fluid, responsive panel. Really, really like the screen on your Pixel 9 Pro XL. Let's talk about performance of the G4. Been good, fluid. On the Pixel 8 Pro last year, the G3 was one of the best experiences I had on Android. There are some shortcomings. There's still shortcomings this year. We'll talk about them in a moment. But to me, it is still a fluid, excellent experience. I've had no problems scrolling through anything. I've had no problems going through and just enjoying this experience on the Pixel. The software is great. Material U is still going well. No issues there. I've had no problems with Android 14. We'll wait and see on Android 15, but I have some confidence there. This is the first time I could say I've actually got confidence in Google that they're going to do the right thing and just, update after update now. I think they're finally getting it. This feels like a device that they got it. So that's really what you're going to take away from most of this stuff. But 16 gigs of RAM in here, I understand a lot of that is for AI. If I did notice something on Tensor, it is the gaming. It's not up to par with the other devices. So the raw power does rear its head there, and you're going to see other phones perform better on gaming. When I fire up Genshin on this device, it defaults to medium settings, and it still has the occasional frame drop there, whereas on your S24 Ultra and your other Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 devices, you're going to see that default to high on the graphics settings and those other things. You're going to get higher, better frame rates and smoother and everything involved with that. So just understand that. Now, Google doesn't get a pass for that anymore. They used to get a pass for it because, the devices were $800-900 and they really weren't marketing Tensor as that. They really didn't say about the gaming and everything involved with that. That's fine, but this device here, the configuration that I have here, $1,200, right? If you want a reasonable configuration, 256 gigs of RAM, it's going to cost you $1,200. You could get the $1,100 one, but this is the one you're going to want. So you don't get the passes that you got previously with devices in terms of raw power. That said, this has its own advantages. I used Google AI. I used Gemini Live for the first time last night. Hold on. I shouldn't have started that just that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I used it in actual conversation smoothly last night for the first time on the Pixel 9 Pro. We were sitting around. It's the end of the bowling summer season. We start again next week in the fall, but we were talking about something. We need to look something up. I pulled this phone out, spoke to Gemini Live, got the answer immediately, and everybody was wowed by the experience just laying this down on the table. I was going to do a little demo there, actually, but the audio was too soft because of the type of microphone I have to cut out echo and stuff like that. You couldn't hear the actual responses of Gemini Live, but it works well. It's fast. When you're done, let's say you're in a crowded room and you don't hear something, when you hit end, you actually get a transcription of the answers from Gemini Live. So it's really the first time that I legitimately sat there and thought that using AI was a good idea for more than just, Pixel Studio. And I'm pulling up pictures of cats and stuff like that, which I can do for you just in case you want to do Pixel Studio. We could go ahead and run in here. We'll do create. Show me a black cat wearing a Star Trek uniform. And there you could go. It's going to go ahead and generate the image right there. And then you have Captain Xavier, our own black cat, Mr. Handsome, right there wearing his Star Trek captain's outfit. So overall, really good. People wanted me to check the camera stuff. We're going to put up the shots. I stand by what I said the other day. A little softer. Understand that it's a little richer color to it. Not a lot. I don't want people to get the wrong impression. Google didn't overdo it. They just added a little richness, a little cream to the actual photos themselves. They're not quite as stark and cold as they used to be, but a lot of people like that. If you like that, then you could change it in post. You can go back and do some other things, but just understand that the photos are a little bit warmer than they used to be. Video worked fine. I put it up to 4K. Didn't seem to overheat. The optical image stabilization worked well. I didn't have issues with that. It was smooth, so I know people were complaining about that, but I don't know if I'd worry about that too much. It was actually a pretty good performance on the video. It seemed to look pretty good, about the best Pixel video that I've seen in quite some time. Then there's the charging stuff. The battery's phenomenal. Again this year, well over 8 hours of screen on time. Sometimes you could push 9 if you turn the brightness down and you take some other battery-saving measures. But the good thing, though, is that I forgot to charge this the other day. And now with the faster 45-watt charging, I could sit there, and it's not a situation where if you forget to charge your Pixel overnight, you're toast. Not anymore. You could plug this in for an hour and get yourself a half hour, get yourself enough juice for the day. That is a major difference, and it was the biggest problem I had with previous Pixel charging. If you forgot to charge this device overnight, you were done. That was it. 23-watt charging took 3 hours to top off these devices. So I'm really glad. And that's part of the thing. Fingerprint sensor works well. Modem works well now. Flawless. No issues. No issues with speeds. No issues with coverage. I'm not getting the dropping. I'm not getting no signal. All those problems that I used to have. Fingerprint sensor. Modem. Charging. What are those top-end, front-end user features just in your face all the time that Google always got wrong and annoyed you because they were things that were in your face just every time you use the phone? They've gone through and they fixed them. So bravo. Link in the description does help the channel if you want to pick one up. I think overall this is a really excellent device. Is it the best device on the market? We'll have that discussion next week. But it is the best Pixel in years, probably since the 2XL. It's a phenomenal device, and Google deserves the credit. There's a lot of hype around this, but deserved. Nice build quality, nice performance, nice battery life, and they corrected a lot of the annoying little things that would just stick in your car. Between the fingerprint sensor and the modem and the charging, there's just little things that you use every day that would annoy you. Were they major things? Did it mean that the phone couldn't run? Did it mean it didn't take nice photos? No. But they were just those little things that the front end, like customer service type things that you noticed because you dealt with them all day long. Google has gone down the line and corrected them. And then you add in the 7 years of software support, and you really do have a winner, even at the higher price point. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.